Uh, as you see, we will discuss and explain some devices that can be used in the traceability and also for identifying the animals, whether they are in the station or in the farm or also in the farmer's fields. Actually, a lot of devices that can be used outside in farmer fields or also in a station that can be identified the animals, and I do believe that all of you have an experience to deal with such devices, but we do need to return back and discuss them because they are also the most important devices to be used for identifying the animals. And since we are talking about the smart agriculture or database or e-farming, without those ear tags or devices that to identify the animals, nothing can be obtained from the animals, and we will lose all the information related to those animals. And we do need to know that if we are dealing with some certain, for example, IDs for the animals, and you collect a lot of information for those animals for just only, for example, for 1 year or 2 years, and for certain conditions you lost them, and because of this thing you will lose all the information related to this animal, and you need to be to be read back for collecting the animal, collecting the information again. And this conditions can be also happen when you are dealing with huge number of animals, for example 1,000 or more than 500 animals, or even more than 100 animals in the flock or in the herd, if you are dealing with cattle or sheep or even another species or other species of farm animals. So first we do need to go to proposed identification devices. A lot of devices can be found in the market, and all of them can be work well, but we do need to look for the durability of those animals, durability of those devices, and no one device will satisfy all identifications actually. For example, if you are looking for animal health and issues with cattle resulting needed in the IGAD region, and it's very much a situation of each country or even production system deciding for itself the devices that could be used. So we are talking about the country situation, the distribution of those animals that can be just only found. For example, if we are dealing with in station or in farmers' fields, the situation will be totally different from dealing with those animals in a station or out of the station. So we do need to know that you are the only one who is able to decide which device should be used. If you are dealing with, for example, range animals, the identification system will be totally different from those animals kept indoor. It's, however, important to note that there must be a commonality. If, for example, the RFID tags is chosen as the device for the national system, then all production system must be complied, and guidelines and rules put in place regarding compliance for the use of the RFID device. This is the situation, and this is an example. How can we deal with such information, such decision that to be taken, which one is to be used? The production systems here is very important. You do need to know that the production systems itself. For example, if you are dealing with production systems for sheep found in Jordan here, you do need to know that We are dealing with the extensive, intensive, and also the nomadics or semi-nomadic production system. All of those production systems are different from each other. So you do need to decide which device to be used in a certain production system, and also. But if you took your decision, you do need to commonly use it for all production system, and this device should be suitable for all those production systems. For example, in the EU, in Europe, traceability, transparency, and the quality assurance are the base for livestock production assurance and accreditation schemes. This is the main thing. Traceability relies on the efficient livestock identification and movement recording. Effective system need both tracking of animals down the food chain, from producers to slaughters or to retail, and tracing, which is the ability to follow a meat product up the supply chain by means of the recording system or records which have been kept at each stage of the chain. This is also another issue. You do need to know that you do need to follow the animal from birth up to slaughter or to death or to the culling time. This system is used in Europe. A wide range of livestock identification methods are used in the EU, but most are not approved for official purpose. Some may be used for on-farm management. Current official animal identification methods are based on electronic identification, EID. This is the EID, electronic identification tags, and visual or non-EID tags, visual. Although ruminal bolus may also be used for sheep, only low frequently LF EID tags are currently permitted in the EU. This is an example how Europe deals with such devices for traceability or for tagging the animal. And now I do need all of you to understand that if you are talking about electronic farming, the devices that to be used for this schemes is very important. You do need to decide which one to be used, whether to use the electronic identification system or the visual, as we are dealing such now in Jordan with the ear tag. This is a visual, or even the iron that we will discuss later. But you do need to decide which one to be used. For, of course, the financial support, the budget that is allocated for such tags or devices should be high enough. Okay, in order to use, for example, the electronic identification. It's a cost-effective one. But if you don't have enough budget, you can go to the ear tags and the other devices that are can be found also in the market. Also, there is an alternative biometric identifiers such as retinal scans, iris recognition, digital imaging of the cattle, muzzle patterns, facial recognition, and immunoglobulin labeling. Immunological labeling have been also developed and used in small-scale trials, but are not ready for deployment. In addition to those devices, we can also see some efforts that take in DNA. That DNA also shares the advantages of other biometric markers of being permanently present in the live animal. But unlike other biometric identifier, except immunological labeling, it can be also extracted from meat and other products. DNA analysis can also be used for pedigree verification and in breeding programs, and also offer considerable promise for identification. However, it's not yet available for real time, on-farm identification purposes. The DNA is very important, but this is also it's a cost-effective methodology, but it is the best one. It is the best one to be used in farm, but we do need to use devices that can be identify the animals in a certain time, and also give us the time manner is very important here. And in the future, we can see a lot of effort, and also the cost will be reduced to the minimal. That can be all the farmer can use those informations and also the DNA as a tags.